Good evening, everyone. I think we're all almost like tired, but still very energetic to hear the last two sessions that we have, right? So thank you so much for being here, and I'm so honored to be on this stage to talk about what is my view about a leader, right? If you think about leadership is not new, it's been ancient. But from time to time, it is being evolved or defined in a new way so that it adapts to the current environment. So what I'm going to talk about today is, when we start our presentations, it's our status quo to just talk about yourself, explain your background and everything. But what I thought to bring today is, who am I? How did I come to this level? What was my core foundation where it was built to become who I am today? You could see two different photos of 4 generations. Who are the superwomen who are behind me to give me the strength and the capability to cross the oceans and build my life in US. So if you see on the left, this is the 4 generations. The woman in the white sari is my great-grandmother, and she had no title. She had no presence outside or anywhere in the world, but she fought for her daughters that they should have equal rights on the inheritance property, right, on the inheriting the property. It's not just for the boys, girls also should have equality in getting the property. So she won, and she made sure her 4 daughters had the equal rights on her property. The one in the red sari you could see next to her is my grandmother, who went out of the house, and then she fought that every girl should be educated. So she educated herself, she brought back the education to the house, she taught all the daughters to be, at least go to the school. And then you see my mom, who's on the third part of next to me. So she moved again across village. She moved from village to the city, which is my hometown back in India. She established an urban life, and she built the whole life by herself. And because of all these 3 superwomen, I'm here today. They helped me to understand what life is, what life skills are. You know, many of you have discussed about so many of your personal stories where we are all connected with that foundational line that we are getting from our forefathers or grandmothers. And on the right, you could see the 4 generations. The little one is my daughter. So she was 11 days old when the picture was taken. But I think what I was trying to convey is the soft power that is passed on from generation to generation. Sometimes we forget to recognize that soft power, what we have inherited, right? And this is the picture where me and my daughter, we both graduated the doctorals last November in the same year. I never wanted to graduate in the same year, but destiny had a different way for us to bring in on the same stage in the same year. So let's think about it, what leadership is about. So I started thinking what to present in this session today. I took a precursor that World War II is where I think most of us have heard about it through our generational grandparents of what happened in those times. Some of the countries did not even get the independence, how they fought for other countries to be part of that. So if you took the precursor from 1945 where the World War II was ended, it was pretty classical view around the globe. It was more military oriented where everybody is command and control leadership oriented. Because that's how the world thought that we could survive after the World War II. And then if you pass on to a decade after, then we started thinking about what could be the relational view. Okay, we are tired of command and control. Let's move on to a relational view. That's when the agility started coming in. We heard about agile, Scrum fundamentals. It became more into the team oriented, and everybody was working to a structured view. So we started talking about transformational leadership. We started talking about agile leadership. Now, finally in 2000s, where we all thought we are going to be dead by the technology Y2K problem, but we survived. It's 2 decades after Y2K, we're still here. So the leadership has evolved into more purposeful, right? From transformational to what kind of purpose we are trying to lead. That became more monumental to talk about every day, right? So every leader, despite any era, despite any generations we are, there are 3 fundamental questions that we all need to talk about, right? Who grows before you, right? And what stays behind? I think this is the common thing that we heard today from every leader, resonating with the same structure of it, what we are leaving behind so that future generations can take on. And the last thing, does your vision outlive the future? So what should a leadership look like? I'm going to be pretty quick on this because we did cover many of these concepts before. Human judgment first, govern what you deploy, lead with transparency, and build what outlasts the model. The concepts are covered throughout the day. It's most of a wrap, what we thought about getting into it. I want to spend a few minutes right here. This image, what you see on the left, is obviously connected with Claude Sonnet and then gave some prompts, so it built this image. There's a backstory to it. I'm currently enrolled in MIT Chief Digital Officer program. In one of the master class, they talked about the rising space economy where everyone, all the big tech giants, have been investing in the space economy. Then after the class, I think it was very exciting to hear about the space and the different projects. Every day, I believe Elon Musk is dropping one of the space rocket over there. What I was trying to convey through this picture is, whoever is building all those space rockets, nobody is asking us for any data governance. Nobody is paying attention to any data governance. Google is working on, I think just a month ago, in the Google Meet, they announced that Google is ready with 75% of AI production code, and they can release probably in a month after now. In that production code, do we even know if they have governed the data? So they are releasing so many blind spots. When they scale to the global audience, we are inheriting those blind spots into our production. So as an organization, if we are not talking about the data strategy before we even employ the LLMs, then we are just inheriting these blind spots and we have no plan how to fix them, right? But on Earth, on this planet, we have control to finish this, right, to apply the data governance. So that's where my quote is here. Leadership is the quiet mastery of sensing what others overlook, responding with insight, and shaping systems that echo beyond your own time. So I am developing a whisper responsive signal framework, which talks about how we have to look into those small whispers and turn those signals into opportunities. So I created a digital twin.
Hi, I am Kashi, the digital twin of Dr. Karuna. The presentation you are about to watch was created using AI digital twin developed with agent technology that authentically represents my voice, likeness, and ideas while demonstrating the very innovation principles that my business Nexus Health Informatics champions in responsible AI adoption. Distinguished honorees, visionary leaders, and the remarkable Passion Vista management team, thank you for creating a space where leadership is not just celebrated but activated. Gatherings like the Global Leadership and Legacy Conclave matter precisely to discuss leadership evolutions because artificial intelligence do not appreciate organizational boundaries, industry silos, or geographical borders. AI is not a technology story, it is a leadership story. It is a governance story, it is a human story about who decides what changes, who bears the risk when algorithms are wrong, and who is left behind when we move fast without wisdom. At Nexus Health Informatics, I have learned that the sharpest edge of leadership is not found in the loudest room, but in the quiet signals that most organizations rush past. Thus, I have developed a whisper response leadership framework, which is the discipline of slowing down enough to hear those signals clearly, interpret them honestly, and act on them decisively before they become the crisis that everyone else is scrambling to explain. Well, no single organization, no single leader, and no single industry solves this alone. That is why this conglomeration of minds makes profound sense. Every leader in this room carries a piece of the answer, such as a governance model that worked, a bias caught before it scaled, or a community protected when it could have been overlooked. When we share those lessons across industries and across borders, we do not just build better organizations, but we build the kind of collective leadership intelligence that shapes how AI serves humanity rather than replaces it. I am deeply honored to stand among you today, and I leave more convinced than ever that legacy is not what we build for ourselves. It is what we build together to uplift others and shape the future for decades ahead. Worth a conversation with Dr. Karuna to drive growth and efficiency. Thank you for listening and hope you take action to listen to the quiet signals to avoid crisis.
All right, thank you. So that's my digital twin where I could just automate it and it can run the messages that I want to convey. So I'm converting this into a concept of organizational digital twins for the CXO leadership where they can convey the messages to the employees. So if you want to connect with me and dive in deeply, I can talk to you later. All right? So thank you so much for listening and having me here. And I truly, truly appreciate Passion Vista team for giving me a chance to stand here and express my views about leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kothapalli, and may I please ask you to please stay on stage at this time. Your message reminded us that innovation, use responsibility, and create stronger, more human systems. So thank you so much for being here. May I please invite, of course, once again, Dr. G.D. Singh and Dr. Neetu Singh on stage to present a token of appreciation to Dr. Kothapalli, please. So ladies and gentlemen, we have one more address before our Legacy Awards and then our Passion Vista Hall of Fame. And then there will be the commence of today's conclave. Thank you once again to Dr. Kothapalli sharing with us on how to use innovation, use responsibility to create stronger and more human systems. Thank you very much, Dr. Neetu and Dr. Singh, coming up so many times today on the stairs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more address speaker